It is generally agreed upon that the following incident is among the most horrifying shark attacks that have been captured on camera. This is ultimate misfortune. Just off the coast of Little Bay, which is located close to Sydney in the state of New South Wales, Australia, this horrible incident took place. Because of its dazzling waterfront, which consists of attractive harbors, polished beaches, and a lively city life, it is not surprising that Sydney is considered to be one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, particularly among vacationers, swimmers, and those who participate in outdoor activities. Little Bay, on the other hand, is a considerably more private site that is situated on the outskirts of Sydney. Owing to the fact that its beachfront is significantly less densely inhabited and industrialized, it is an ideal location for individuals who prefer a more real and tranquil experience at the bay. In addition to its already impressive qualities, it is also one of the most environmentally friendly coastal places in Australia, both in terms of the transparency of the water and the number of microorganisms that are there. Additionally, the bay is a regular host to a plethora of leisure activities, both on land and in the sea. These activities range from the bay's picturesque golf clubs to the bay's enormous surfing waves that crash over the shoreline. It should come as no surprise that the bay is considered to be among the most ideal places for thrill seekers and surfers alike. There is just one fatal shark attack that takes place in Little Bay around once every 60 years, making it one of the places with the lowest number of shark attacks. Considering that it is common knowledge that Australia is home to one of the largest populations of great white sharks in the world, this is, without a doubt, a number that provides tourists with a sense of comfort. Having recently retired from the British Royal Air Force, Simon Nellist, who was 35 years old at the time, was just beginning to settle down in Australia in preparation for his wedding to Jessie Ho, his fiancée, with whom he had been communicating through a long-distance relationship. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the channel, and click the bell to get notifications. Simon was a seasoned scuba diver and dive teacher, and according to all accounts, he was really thrilled to begin living in close proximity to the seaside so that he could incorporate swimming and scuba diving into his daily routine. In spite of the fact that Simon had always had a strong affinity for the natural world, the fact that he was now residing only a few kilometers away from the bay made it abundantly clear that he was not going to let this opportunity pass him. Simon registered for a local swimming competition known as the Malabar Magic Ocean Swim, which was scheduled to take place on the 20th of February 2022. This enrollment took place not long after he had moved into his new residence. Due to the fact that he lived in such close proximity to the water, Simon would go for a swim of a minimum of 30 minutes every day in order to get himself ready for the event. Simon put on his black wetsuit and walked out to the beach of Buchan Point in the warm Wednesday evening of February 16th. Buchan Point is a small peninsula of Little Bay that is rarely utilized by other swimmers due to its rough and uncomfortable bottom. This circumstance allowed Simon to accomplish his laps without interruption. As he took his first steps into the warm water of the lagoon, he noticed that numerous fishermen were casting their lines down the steep cliff that was above him. He did his best to avoid being hit by their hooks as he proceeded to draw further and further away from the shore with each stroke that he took. After swimming out against a strong breeze pushing him back towards the beach, Simon came to a halt about 150 meters away from the shore, which is when, as he usually would, he started practicing his familiar strokes. Suddenly, a great white shark that was around 15 feet long emerged from the depths of the water that was a brilliant blue color. Sharks have an amazing hearing skill that enables them to locate prey before being discovered. They are able to accomplish this because of their exceptional ability to notice low-frequency vibrations in the water, such as the ones that are produced by a fish that has been injured. It is vital to note that sharks have this ability. After that, the shark proceeded to approach closer to the shore of the rocky lagoon while simultaneously searching for any movement that might have occurred. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the channel, and click the bell to get notifications. While Simon continued to practice his strokes with his back facing the wide ocean, the vibrations that he was making on the surface of the water unwittingly drew this great white shark as it was getting closer and closer to Simon's location. Soon after, it became aware of a gigantic man that was traveling through each wave, and that is when it started to focus its attention on him. When great white sharks hunt on the surface of the ocean, they do so by breaking through the water and throwing themselves into the air with their jaws wide open. This allows their prey to fall into their mouths, where they can then clamp down to secure their hold on it. Consequently, this results in damage that is catastrophic to the important organs of the unlucky victims of these attacks. In point of fact, these ancient super predators are famous for their ability to break through the surface of the water and leap up to 10 feet in the air. This activity is frequently interpreted as a method of predatory hunting or as a kind of communication. However, even at the present day, scientists are not yet completely aware of the reasons behind this behavior. According to some hypotheses, breaching is a method by which sharks are able to remove parasites from their skin. Other hypotheses imply that it may also be a means by which they frighten their competitors or even attract potential mates. According to oceanconservancy.org, white sharks are one of the largest sharks in the ocean. They can grow more than 20 feet long and weigh more than 2.5 tons. That makes them the largest predatory fish in the world. Their bodies are designed for hunting. White sharks have an excellent sense of smell and sharp, serrated teeth that are perfect for capturing and tearing apart prey. Unlike most shark species that are cold-blooded, white sharks are warm-blooded, meaning they can raise their internal temperature above the temperature of the water. This allows them to have more energy to burst forward while hunting, and they can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the channel, and click the bell to get notifications. It was now only a few meters away from Simon, who was completely unaware of the great white shark. Forcibly flinging him high up in the air as the shark clamped down on his body, the enormous great white shark that weighed 1,000 kilograms broke through the surface of the water underneath Simon, just as he was changing directions while swimming. The shark caused major damage to his internal organs and limbs. A tremendously loud noise was produced as a result of the shark's descent into the sea, which alarmed everyone in the surrounding area. When Simon reached this point, the water surrounding him began to acquire a blood-red color as he made a last-ditch effort to swim away from the shark with the limited amount of strength that he had left. Somehow, he was able to break free from the enormous hold that the shark had on him, and for a very little while, he made a desperate attempt to swim away from it with everything that he had left in him. As the shark once again latched onto him and began violently shaking him from side to side, sending large splashes of bloody water and flesh across the lagoon, visually ripping entire limbs off of Simon's body and mortally wounding him in the process. The fishermen on the beach, who at this point were frozen in shock from what they were witnessing, looked on in horror as the shark continued to shake him violently. At this point, a few of the fishermen unexpectedly emerged from their immobilized state and signaled for assistance to the lifeguards who were stationed on a beach in the vicinity. Afterwards, one of the witnesses took out his phone and started recording the video that has since become notorious worldwide. In spite of the fact that a vast majority of shark attacks have not been seen on camera, this video does an excellent job of capturing the frightening experience that would be endured by anyone who was unfortunate enough to come in contact with one. The authorities arrived at the scene in a very short amount of time, and after conducting a search that was both brief and exhaustive, they were able to find Simon's remains floating in the water. Since Simon was wearing a black wetsuit at the time, the investigators later came to the conclusion that the shark most likely mistook him for a seal because of his appearance. Simon Nellist was about to tie the knot with the woman who he had been in love with for his whole life. Unfortunately, he and Jessie would never be able to realize their dream of being together. Despite the fact that many people who visit Little Bay on a regular basis would agree that swimming in its waters comes with the inherent risk of being attacked by a shark, this would be the first unprovoked fatal shark attack in its waters since the 1960s. This would make it all the more tragic for a man who was on the verge of living the life he had always dreamed of living. We hoped you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the channel, and click the bell to get notifications. Tell us about your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Ultimate Misfortune.